In the summer of 2017, Romelu Lukaku was arguably the most coveted striker in the Premier League. As it became clear he would leave Everton, champions Chelsea and Manchester United duly entered a bidding war for his services. In the end, Lukaku decided to reject his former club and join United for £75 million. The consensus was that United had played a blinder. A smug Jose Mourinho claimed provocatively, "It is only natural that he wants to develop his career at the biggest club." After scoring on his debut against Real Madrid and 11 times in his first 10 games, Lukaku initially lived up to the lofty expectations. Mourinho noted at the time that Lukaku was grabbing his opportunity with both hands. Since then, though, the chance to prove himself as an elite striker has slipped through Lukaku's fingers, with Monday night's FA Cup tie at Chelsea offering him more a shot at redemption than filling the home faithful with trepidation about what their former striker might produce. The reality is that Chelsea will justifiably feel they have little to fear from a striker whose stock has plummeted over the last year, the nadir of which arrived on Tuesday against Paris Saint-Germain. Under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Lukaku had already found himself pushed to the periphery, but this was a damning indictment of his standing at the club. Starting on the bench was disappointing yet expected, but what must Lukaku have made of Solskjaer leaving him there when first Jesse Lingard and then Anthony Martial were forced off with injury? It took until the 84th minute, with United losing 2-0 in their biggest game of the season, before Lukaku was finally brought on. A few days later, Solskjaer said that Martial and Lingard's injuries would mean chances in the coming weeks for Alexis Sanchez, Romelu Chongi, Tahith Chong, or Angel Gomez. With all due respect to the two youngsters Chong and Gomez, bracketing Lukaku with them must have felt a bit like telling a middle manager that they, along with the work experience kids, would be considered for a vacant role. How has it got to this point with Lukaku? How has he gone from being compared with Sergio Aguero and Harry Kane to being lumped in with Chongi and Angel? The decline started shortly after Lukaku had scored that 11th goal in his 10th United game in September 2017, after which he scored just once in his next 12. Talk began to circulate that Lukaku was suffering from a crisis of confidence, with criticism of his inability to score against the biggest teams proving especially hurtful. A glaring miss against Manchester City that December, following similar profligacy against Chelsea and Liverpool, cemented the perception that he was a flat-track bully. Added to this was the sneers from football purists that Lukaku's first touch was not becoming of a world-class target man. Too often balls would bounce off him in a manner more befitting a Sunday League striker than an elite centre-forward. Lukaku managed to regain his composure in time for the second half of last season, finishing the campaign with a creditable 27 goals from 51 matches, but suspicions lingered that he was not what United needed if they wanted to mount a successful title challenge.